Hello and welcome to another League of Legends video, and in this one we make a return to our top junglers series as there have been enough buffs going around, but at the same time when there isn't any great changes around the game, sometimes people innovate or find new strategies that end up working quite well. So while a lot of things have remained quite stable, we do have some notable additions to this list. And once again, this isn't a cut and dry tier list, just a collection of the best solo queue junglers for all ranks and ranges that you can use to get some wins as we head towards the end of the season. I will structure the video in the same way we did before, looking at the best overall junglers as well as the best picks for low and high MMR. And always I love to know what the viewers are playing, so let me know which champion you think you'll be using to finish off season 9, maybe to get gold or simply to get diamond, whatever your goals may be. So while we will talk in depth about the champions in this particular video, I'm proud to say that I have partnered with Mobify for this video, which means if you are looking for a more continuously updated version as well as additional tiers and extra categories, I will be maintaining this at the Mobify link in the description. So if you don't see your favorite champion here but you wanted to know if I rank them in any sort of way, you can head to that Mobify tier list that I will keep updated regularly. And obviously if you find a champion you would like to play, you're already on the site with access to their copious amounts of champion guides. And to begin our first category of champions, because Riot never seems to enjoy having Kha'Zix out of the meta for even just a little bit, they gave him a small little buff in recent patches, and basically that has made him an absolute top tier jungle hunting beast. In fact, so much so that I made an Assassin Kha'Zix video about 2 weeks ago. So if you like carrying games, 1v1ing enemy champions, making ADCs fear for their very existence, and let's be honest, we all like doing that because they complain so much, your personal bug is ready to go, very strong at the moment. There's a little bit of a debate over the evolves, you know, picking R first so you get those ganks off easier, but then those who like Q to go combat the enemy jungler and ensure getting nice isolated damage, as well as other schools of thought. So the footage you're seeing is from that video, you can click that in the description, and I have done numerous champion guides at this point, so throughout this video I will use the relevant clips and then of course put the links below should you be interested in that particular champion. And yes, he's not on top of this page in this edition, but he is still very strong. He for some reason gets slept on in the mid MMRs, I don't know why. He's such a powerful tool to get from gold to plat, from plat to diamond, and he's also powerful in the lower MMRs. And when you have a champion that's not too difficult to pick up, who's used by challengers in their unranked challenger climbs, who can be used in any particular ranked tier, you know they're definitely a power pick. Don't sleep on the horse. And talking about sleeping on picks, Vi has been fisting her way around the solo queue ladder for a few months. For some reason she isn't rated as highly as she should be. Her win rate and play rate are reasonably substantial, and even though she does have some diminishing returns, you can easily climb throughout 99% of the ladder with Vi, with the pressure she provides, with the damage she has, and again the build versatility and lockdown ultimate. Sound like someone familiar? Well yes, Jarvan is equally as good at the moment. He does have a, and I can't believe I'm saying this, more fleshed out kit, just in the way that he has the EQ skill expression. He also has that added shield that you can control, even if it's minuscule, and that's why you'll see more Jarvan at the higher tiers of play. However, both these champions are excellent, reliable, and versatile ways to climb. And with the ever-present jungle queen always around, however, when her win rates and her impact at the higher elos starts to turn heads, other people decide, hey, well maybe I can pick up Elise, and to that end I did release my full Elise guide last week. She is more difficult to pull off than say Evelyn, who has around similar performance at the moment, but the fact that she has reliable CC, the fact that she can dominate in early and mid game very easily, puts her just a little bit ahead of Evelyn at the moment. And I'll let the rest of that video in particular speak about my thoughts on Elise. And thank you Riot for nerfing Sejuani. If I had to see her in one more game, I was going to lose my mind. Nunu returns once again as the best solo queue jungler. Not the highest play rate, which is why his win rate can be so high, a little bit inflated, and a lot of people don't find his playstyle interesting. However, rolling a snowball down a lane and smashing into 3 people is always fun, as is ensuring that the enemy will never go for barons or dragons when you're right around the area. Tons of different skill expression, a fluffy monster with 6 arms, and the promise to get you to gold and any other MMR you like because he works all the way up until Challenger. Take a ride on the Yeti. Now on this second page there will be some notable exceptions and notable choices that I have put, and this is because I have the high specific and low specific list coming up, so don't worry if you didn't see someone you expected to. Obviously Evelyn received a small baby nerf. That was enough just to love tap her down a little bit. I suppose love tap's the word and she would have enjoyed it. Still controls that Smurf jungle fantasy, and if you would like to roleplay in that fantasy and gain you some LP at the same rate, she can do it for you, but remember the intricacies of playing around early game a bit more cautiously, and of course late game knowing how to position and eradicate people from their family tree. And if you're not doing that, you're not playing alright. Power is still there, it's just a little bit more in control. Now, out of control power is Volibear, because once you get that mid-game spite, a few points in W, some HP, any champion goes bye-bye when you chomp them, you're gonna have them complaining about how Volibear is OP. Now, when you hear that, you know you're doing things right, and you're probably on your way to win the match. Yes, he's not as well-rounded as certain champions, and he falls off greatly the higher up you go, and he's obviously a little bit better in the top lane. But if you're looking to get to Diamond, this is an absolute solid power pick, underrated, and given the state of the world's polar bears, I'd suggest you use him and feast upon all the bodies of your enemies. Now we talk about the skinny twig with a toothpick as a sword. You know I don't like him, you know I don't like his playstyle. However, his strength is innate, and he is always going to do well in certain brackets where they have no idea what CC is, but at the same time, as you can see, his late game dominance is sometimes very difficult to avoid on any team that becomes mildly disjointed, even if you are about to win the game. I don't recommend putting him on the side and picking him up every now and then. I recommend spamming him, getting used to his fluidity. Yes, people always laugh at how he's medium difficulty versus easy, but that's because their low elo is leaking in their thinking, and exactly why he can end up working so well. Now, people don't always rate Kayn. I do, I rate him much higher than most people, because the ability to have 3 different runes that work perfectly on you, the fact that you can unleash the power of Rast, as I showed you a few weeks ago, disrupt to get into people's faces, to heal, to turn the tides of late games because no one can actually deal with you on a 1v1 basis, or you can simply go the Shadow Assassin and basically take out their entire team with one good E-flank. Power to surprise comes with the power of versatility, and that's what Kayn gives you. Now, Warwick and Jax are my final 2 on this page, and this was a difficult decision, but I did so for 2 reasons. They're both very similar in that they have the fighter style that can be very strong early, they have strong gangs, they have CC, they can split push. Jax does the split push thing a lot better than Warwick does, and he definitely is able to build damage better than Warwick is. But Warwick is a very in-your-face jungler, he is one of my mains. Basically, once you've got the hang of him and got the hang of using his W to move around the map, there isn't going to be a situation you can't rotate to help your team to get some kills, to pick up, to clean up. And in solo queue, that is an invaluable skill trait, as well as being able to solo heralds and dragons and beat down enemy junglers 1v1. These are all the tools you need to climb. I do think his biggest power spike is in that gold platinum MMR range. While Jax did have his Q buff, we have to wait and see exactly how that impacts him. It shouldn't be too much until the later levels, but later on his jump is going to be on a very short cooldown. And I think even though his thematic is a little bit on the boring side, if you want to get gold and you don't like the Nunus of the world, as you can either be a team fighting god or a split pushing god. And in low elo, split pushing wins you a lot of games. And now we're going to talk about the low MMR picks, specifically those that will get you to gold. Stop focusing on the complicated nature of certain champions and focus on the complicated nature of League of Legends. Play a champion that's simpler. You don't have to worry too much about the mechanics. You can focus on the game. You can focus on punishing the mistakes that are made by those in Iron, Bronze, and Silver. And yes, you will see Jax and Vi. However, you will also have Rammus, Amumu, Udyr, and Nocturne. Now, Rammus is our classic little guy. He runs around, he taunts, people don't ward against him, those are absolutely free ganks. Amumu, on the other hand, is the forever feared AoE 5-man ult team fighting machine. People are going to ARAM a lot, they're not going to know how to macro, they're not going to know how to team fight. And so if you can get off one good 4-5-man ult, stack that with the rest of your team, that's a free win, and that's going to happen a lot more than you think it would. Couple that with the fact that you can add in a Liandry's and Abyssal Mask, you can give yourself a little bit more damage while still remaining quite tanky, is a very powerful toolset to have. And for the same reason Jax is good in low elo, so is Udyr. The days where he was borderline OP early in the season have long since passed. The scuttle changes also didn't help him in that level 2 phase. I'm not sure if the buffs actually ended up doing anything in particular. However, his late game now is a little bit more punchy. However, I do think he has his place. It just requires a specific playstyle. You know who to go watch. Trick2G is waiting for you to teach you the ways of the god deer. And finally, yes, the Shadow has once again revealed himself. Nocturne received some buffs. I don't like his ultimate, it tilts the living hell out of me. I'll be able to see what's going on for about 10 minutes. But then again, I suppose that is actually the point. Now, his buffs did help his win rate quite substantially in the diamond and above range. Not enough to make him any sort of meta pick just yet, we'll have to see. Definitely not enough to overtake all the other meta junglers, but in the silver below range, even a little bit in gold, that win rate was a substantial spike. Remember, being able to farm very quickly, and most importantly, being able to easily pick off out of position targets. He's basically the low MMR version of Rengar. And on the topic of Rengar and high elo picks, here you go. As full disclosure, these are the champions that have the best performance, ban rates and win rates, and impact in Master Tier Plus. That doesn't mean to say you can't start playing them in Diamond, you technically should, so that if you are climbing and you do master their playstyles, you will end up being a part of that Master Tier club. But remember, the particular playstyles, the particular mechanics, and the game knowledge required for some of these champions is significantly higher than most. Karthus here being the notable exception in his mechanics. Obviously, pressing R is very difficult, but his clear speed is ganking without the ultimate, using his Q accurately, understanding how and when to use them most appropriately. These things are all higher tier knowledge. If anyone picks Karthus in silver, please just pick an aggressive jungler, invade, and kill him 1,000 times. Taliyah is very different. Her mechanics are very difficult. Only the best junglers are able to execute her will on the map as necessary. Some love to run a harvest to scale the damage even more. Some just like to have electrocute, so basically you can one-shot literally anything off the edge of the map. And historically, map rotation ultimates or utility ultimates such as a Galio, old school Rek'Sai, Taliyah, these are all very high MMR and pro play relevant ultimates, and as such why these champions at some point or another get nerfed to the absolute ground. You get it? Because Taliyah throws ground and stuff? Yeah, okay. And then we have Lady Rek'Sai. She had her power fantasy early on in the year, got nerfed for being too powerful, which was kind of sad, and once again has returned to an explicit pro play high elo pick, which is a little bit upsetting. I wish they would figure out a way so that wasn't the actual case. But Sylas is in that book a little bit also. Very popular, but has an overtuned kit, and so it basically gets adopted in all roles as a 3-way flex pick. While very OP for a little bit, his jungling was not on the easier side. The nerfs have just basically solidified him as a niche pick, much like Taliyah and Rek'Sai for this particular skill bracket. Now, Rengar on the other hand is a very different case. Our pretty kitty is very popular throughout the game, however he definitely always has his biggest success and impact in this particular area. His ban rate is always extremely high no matter really what his state. They don't like to face him too much because those Rengar one-tricks, those Rengar specialists in the top lane as well as in the jungle have the mechanics and game knowledge to absolutely take over at any point. And when you've got things like Yuumi running around which only enable this, it can be quite difficult to deal with. That being said, he is one of the picks on this page that can see success in Diamond, even Plat, but it will definitely fall more to the ability of the player than anything else. I put Rengar and Kindred in that same sort of description. Everything I said about Rengar applies to Kindred, except they really aren't as popular as our kitty, and they also do not have the same play rate and win rate below this high elo skill level. And as we close, no, I did not forget about Nidalee, I did not forget about Lee Sin. Nidalee just isn't doing very well anywhere. She's as good as the hands that wield her. Lee Sin, on the other hand, is the people's champion. You're all gonna play him no matter what anyone says because you love his skill expression, you love his theatrics. He's gonna sit around that 48% win rate for all time, but he's gonna have the highest play rate. He doesn't have any MMR where he is particularly standout successful, but if you're an excellent jungler, smurfing on Lee Sin, you will destroy and control most games. And so he now has his own section right here. And if you're wondering where the Iverns and the Shakos are, don't forget to head to the Mobile Fire list where I will keep a section explicitly for them, including a section on those sleeper picks that are up and coming against the meta. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you were able to enjoy and learn something about the current jungle meta landscape. Please do like, share, and comment if you did. It really does help the video and the channel. Subscribe for more League of Legends and jungle videos coming. Well, not just like this one, but just like the other ones. And as always, I will see you all in the next tutorial.